Hey guys, I'm going to do a deck profile on my Fire Earth deck as it currently is, because I played Fire Earth like a long time ago, way back at the start of the format, as you know, when I originally started with Mono Fire, and then you'll see the deck I played in the finals of Season 1 of TCG League was a Fire Earth deck. It had some interesting stuff in it, like Doga, and there was Poroms and things that people thought was a bit odd, but I won that season, and I just want to show where the deck is now, because I haven't really had a chance to play this in any event, because every single event has some kind of rule set that prevents it. Either it's no fire cards allowed, as it was in the last fire thing. We've got, you know, other specific drawback deck building restrictions on, like, you know, Highlander and other stuff like that, Rainbow, all these weird kind of formats where this isn't really playable. But so I haven't had like a normal constructed tournament for ages, so I haven't really been able to play this. But I'll demonstrate it now just because I would like to play it at some point, but it probably won't happen. Now, so this is the obvious part: is the 3 March, the 3 Ritz, the 3 Loyalty, and the 3 BFA. And this is absolutely, as I've said at the start of the format as well, this is just like basically any competitive deck in Opus 11 is these 12 cards right here, or if it's Ice, this is Yuk instead, but it's basically the same thing. And for context, I think that Mono Fire is probably the worst fire deck. Obviously, it's still really good because it's still fire, so it's still probably 4th or 5th best deck. But I actually think that Fire Earth, Fire Wind, Fire Ice, and probably Fire Water are all better than Mono Fire. And I have not tried Fire Lightning properly. I haven't really put any effort into it, so I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I definitely think the dual color is much better than Mono, because you gain. Basically, Mono doesn't really offer anything extra other than maybe Libro is probably the only real thing that you get, and just the color consistency, I guess. But I feel if you you know, sculpt your hand properly and build your deck properly, then the benefits you get from a second color are so much better than anything else that Mono Fire can offer, because all the good fire cards only take up half the deck, basically. And then Kadaj, this is the other ridiculous card. Sorry, I should have put this with the rest of the cards. This is just like, I can't describe how frustrating it is having this card in the game, because it actually does basically. The game kind of revolves around it a little bit. Like, a lot of games will revolve around this card, and basically if one person sees it, one person doesn't, that person is usually at a huge advantage. And there's not really many ways to deal with it effectively. So this card is absurd, and this is one of the reasons I play Earth, which I'll talk about in a second. Actually, I'll talk about it right now. We have 3 Tyra on the Jessie, so this is one of the main reasons I like Earth better than anything else, because you have EX searches and a Jessie as well to search this Kadaj. So we basically have 5 copies of Kadaj, but we're only playing 1, so we can't brick a second copy, because I don't like having 2 Kadaj, because then if you draw your Kadaj, you should be at a big advantage, but if you draw a second Kadaj, then you kind of give up a bunch of that advantage. So yeah, this is one of the main reasons I like Earth. But the next thing, this is the next most important part about this version of the deck, is this 3 Nael. So this version of the deck has 30 forwards, and that's deliberate, because I want this card to be really good. I found more and more the games that I was playing with this card, because everyone else now knows that fire is really good, so you're kind of playing a lot of fire mirror matches and stuff. Usually the person who wins is the person who has the board pressure and the damage pressure better, and this card basically means that's usually you. So while this card is out, you basically get to dictate who can kill who, pretty much. It's like a fail-safe, kind of prevents them from cheesing you out, and also threatens you to push through, especially when you've got stuff like Kadaj. So being able to play this as a neutral is really sick. It's actually pretty hard for a lot of decks to kill effectively as well. So I think focusing on this in this list is the main point, and it's been working really well. And then we have the 3 Gabranth, obviously these search the Nails, the Marches, the Braskas. Again, EX Searcher, there's a second reason to play Earth, because you've just got this ridiculous kind of, you know, EXs that basically win you the game. You get this card off EX, is like insane. And then the cards that go with Gabranth, we've got the 2 Cloud, that's standard as well. And I'm actually now playing 3 Cecil. So this is a card I've kind of ignored for a long time. Not ignored, but I've never really thought it was that good since, you know, quite a while ago. It's kind of, you know, the fact that the cards have to be dull, and we don't have the benefit of something like Noctis is not very good anymore, so that kind of combination of like Dark and Noctis is not doesn't really come up. But now the Kadaj is in the game, and you know, you're going to have theoretically have Kadaj on your field most of the time. Having the dull on demand makes this a lot better. It basically, you know, becomes a spot removal. It's still got the EX as well, and Dark actually can be a really good way to kill things that are usually hard to kill. One of them is Nael, so you can actually kill a Nael if you get Dark and go to 6. Also the instant speed again, if you've got instant speed, you know, Nael and Cecil effects of Dark and you're threatening those kind of stuff, it lets you control the board quite effectively, and it's a great search off of Gabranth as well. It's an Earth search off Gabranth, which I don't think I have any others of. So that occasionally matters, but yeah. Mainly I'm quite happy with how it's performing at the moment, so that's a good one. Now, this the part of my deck that's a bit interesting that people have seen before, but I played Beastmaster and Porom. I went back up to 3 Porom because I want to always be able to play Beastmaster. I found a few games where I would, you know, draw a Porom, play a Beastmaster, draw a second Beastmaster, and not be able to play it because I've already seen all the Poroms. Porom is mainly here for EX, and also Phoenix, but I'll get to the summons in a second. We also have 3 Terra, so this is more EXs, so the other massive reason I like Fire Earth is because I have all these EXs, like 23 EXs or something like that. Most of them are +1s or kill something. And the summon recursion can be incredibly handy with the toolboxing certain summons, because the fire and earth together have summons that kind of cover most of the things you want to do. Sorry. The main point, by the way, the main reason I actually play Beastmaster Porom, I want to play Beastmaster because of March. So this is a 1-cost FFTA backup, which makes it really good for March. It's a standard unit, obviously, and also you can bring it out with March. That doesn't happen very often, but occasionally it's okay. But yeah, I just want this to make my March cheaper. It's better than a 2-cost backup like Black Mage. Now for the summons, I'm playing these 5, but it's actually 8 because I have these backups. So basically this lets me keep my forward count up while still having a decent enough summons to kind of make sure you always have at least 1 for your Terror and your Porom. And the summons I'm playing are these 5. So Fenrir kills Kadaj. That's one of the only ways in the game to kill Kadaj effectively, efficiently. Even you actually go you plus on this, like you actually gain CP by killing Kadaj with this, so that's a really good reason to play it in my opinion. And having the Terrors and the Poroms means you can recur it when you need it, basically, once the Kadaj comes down. That being said, obviously if there's only 1 and you've only got 1 Rydia, you've only really got 2 ways to actually get to it, but it's really good to have available. The Kusith is insane EX. If I was not playing so many 4s for Nael, I would play 3 of this, but because I need to keep my forward count up, I can't afford to play more, so just the 1 is fine. Again, it's the toolbox option to get any forward back from the game off your Terror, basically. And this card is obviously nuts with March and Ritz, as I explained before. And now the 3 fire summons, which are what Moody and SARS can search, are these 3. So the Phoenix has the Porom synergy and is just good at kind of protecting you from getting cheesed out and damage, especially against stuff like ninjas. Ifrit is the removal, so that's just to kill stuff like Ritz or whatever else. You've got Terror can kill 10Ks like BFA, for example. And Belius for the haste and the extra, the buff, the combat trick. Just having it in your deck means that people have to respect it. And also these 2 make your BFA bigger than their BFA, which is a big point as well. And lastly, the last 2 backups are Mont Block and Mephilis. This is 15 total backups with a 3 Tyra on the 12 time on backups. I'm only playing 1 Mont Block because this backup line I have no name overlap. That's intentional because I'm playing a slim number of 15 is like a bit lower than usual. I want to make sure. Sorry, Tyro is an overlap. Sorry, but that's for the EX and because it's like the best one. But I want to make sure that when I draw the backups, I can play them pretty much no matter what. And again, that's another reason why I have 3 Porom again, just to make sure I can actually play the Beastmasters efficiently. Midfilia also is a lot better now because of Kadaj in the game, so this is actually a way to kill Kadaj. It's not that efficient, but it is available at no deck building cost at least, which is the main point. Most ways to kill Kadaj, you have to play a card that doesn't really do enough otherwise, but this card is good by itself anyway. Obviously, it's really great if you pick it up later and get back 2 cards like March, BFA, whatever, a Kadaj that's died. So it's just a really good card at the moment. And the last, I have 3 slots left. So it's going to be 2 Susahisa and 1 Zidane at the moment. The Susahisas, I love Susahisa, I've explained it before. And Zidane is the last slot currently. It's Phoenix for the haste is good. That just having the haste in your deck without needing Belius is good, and you can catch people out with it. The reason I was playing Tifa before over this was because it was 4K. Mont Blanc is huge at the moment, and Mont Blanc just kills this. There are other things that just kind of kill, like Pandemonium and stuff like that. So that was the reason I went for Tifa over this. But now in this deck, because I'm focusing a lot more on Nael and I don't really need a Tifa to kill people, the Zidane with the removal option is good to have around. Yeah. And that's my Fire Earth deck currently as it is, that I wish I could play in a Constructor tournament, but I've not played a Constructor tournament where this has been legal for a long time. So thanks for watching, guys.